Let's go live. Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Halal Stock Hunters midweek review. It's the midweek review. It is the 3rd of June. I'm going to switch to gallery review and I'm going to introduce to you my good friend Adi Ismail. Adi, good morning. Assalamualaikum. How are you, brother?
Good morning, Afiq. Thank you for introducing me. Hi, guys. Welcome to halalinvestingnetwork.com. Halal Stock Hunters, right? Our event. And yeah, we're looking forward to actually look at our portfolio and how it has performed. Right,
All
Afiq?
right. So we've been, if you guys have been following us for a while, you know that we have been maintaining a HIN model portfolio. Some of these stocks we actually really like, and we personally hold some of them, but this is the model portfolio. So if you decide to invest along, please do your own due diligence. None of this is any recommendation for you to buy any of these stocks. We do it for entertainment and educational purposes. So folks, let's review some of our counters that we're looking at right now, and Adi will pull up his charts and give you our opinion on this. One of our popular ones way back when we were talking about Crocs, you know, the shoe Crocs. We entered on the 5th of May. It's been almost a month. So would you like to hear how our performance has been over the past 1 month? So long story short, we're down 4%. We are down 4%. Adi, can we look at the charts for Crocs? And so should we continue holding? Should we continue waiting for it to go up? Or do we take a loss on this?
Okay. All right. Okay, let me just pull out the charts. Okay, can you see my chart here? I think it's enlarged it. Okay. As you can see, I have not touched the chart, but the last session, I had actually drawn this line here, remember?
Yep.
Right? I said that, okay, looking at, you know, what the price of Crocs have done in the past, it tends to actually go sideways before it breaks to a higher ground, right? Basically. So I think we did say that we're going to liquidate if it reaches around here, is it?
Yeah. Target price, we had a target price. Where was my target price? Was 109.5.
Okay, so it did not reach that target price. And eventually, okay, since this is what day is today, Hafiq?
It's Thursday.
Okay, today is Thursday. And we have 3 days of trading gone by. So basically, what we saw was that on Monday, price actually tested the lows of 98.01, and then it bounced back up to close higher. On Tuesday, basically, we saw price testing lows again and at 99, and went up to about 103, and it closed higher. It looks quite bullish here, but the next day, basically last night, price did test 104.68. but it actually closed a bit lower, right? So at this point, I can say that, you know, we are ranging. So if we are in a ranging market, basically, we will try to actually exit first in profit. So maybe the next time around, I think when the price goes above somewhere in this level, let me just mark it. Okay, when price goes somewhere around this level, we might want to liquidate this stock first, so that we could actually buy lower somewhere around this region. Does it make sense?
Yeah. So like you said, it's ranging. And on that note, folks, if you have been following the news and the stock markets over the past couple of months, in fact, the past month, actually, you'd know that there's been a lot, or there's not much activity in the markets right now. The word is actually stagnant. Things are moving sideways. People are wondering where the markets are going to go. We're looking for data. And so if you are invested, don't worry, just hold on, have your convictions, look at what some quality counters are, and of course, seek expert advice.
Yeah. Okay, Afiq, so there's nothing much to actually say for this stock right now since it's going sideways. So, yep, you're right. Do not worry if you're actually holding on to this stock. There are times when you need to be able to hold on to a stock in order to actually benefit from its price appreciation going forward.
Correct. It takes time for it to run up. And on that note, let's look at our next one, which is Freeport McMoran. Now, Freeport, as we all know, is a commodities company dealing in mining, and we had a very strong conviction on Freeport way back on the 5th of May. And I'm happy to report, since we went in, we're up 7.5%, 7.49% up since the 5th of May. That's where we were. We bought in at 40.32. Today it's at 43.34, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. So as you can see in my chart here, let me just make it bigger. We entered here on the 5th of May, and after that, price in fact appreciated from our entry at around 40.32. We went up to as high as 46, right? So that's about 15%, right? An appreciation of about $6. Yep, it's about 4 point something percent, right? And after that, it started to retrace lower and basically test this particular resistance zone, turn support, right? But now it has run above this slanting line. Let me just darken it so you can see. It has actually closed above this slanting resistance line, and right now, basically it's just testing that line again, right? It's testing that line to see whether the bulls have the conviction to push this up further, possibly to the next level at 45.93 or 46.07, which was actually the price which was reached on the 10th of May, right? So you can see there are actually similar patterns as well to crops, right? So you can see that in the past, we have actually a sideways moving situation trend. And right now, I guess after reaching a new high, it is also going to make something similar. It's going to go sideways before we believe that market will continue to the upside, especially looking at the fundamentals, right? The Fed basically they have not actually seriously signaled that they're going to actually taper off on their policies, which are inflationary, right? So, yeah, they have not actually said that they're going to do it yet. But of course, there is talk about it, but no firm decision making on that yet, because they are still waiting for more data, economic data to come out and to actually provide the impetus for that decision.
And that also explains why the market is, ranging or consolidating right now. Most of the investors are waiting for market news, waiting for data from the various sources, and of course from the government bodies, right? And so with this, our advice would be, like I said, stick to your convictions, hold on, and be sure what you're doing. By no means is this the only counter that we are looking at. We're looking at quite a bit more, and of course, there's more to it than just looking at certain signals. There are other ways to analyze. There's a lot more data to look at. Things like moving averages, things like the 30, 50, and 60-day moving averages, right? If I'm not mistaken, Adi, you mentioned some of these.
Yeah, basically our secret set of moving averages.
Yes. And we also have we have to look at the fear indexes, the volatility indexes. And so, long story short, what we're sharing with you here is just a surface it's just enough for you to get started. But if you really want more deeper insight, listen in for a bit longer. So with Freeport, Adi, I think it's safe to say that we'll hold on to this. If it hits the target price of 46, maybe we might want to let go of some and look at other things, right?
Yep, correct. So what's the next stop, Afiq?
Next one, how about we do another sad story? Let's do Tractor Supply Company, TSCO. Tractor Supply, we went in on the 5th of May as well. We bought in at 193.48. Today it dropped slightly and we're down 6.37%. So looking at the charts, I think it's a very nice chart. It's it's sitting very nicely at the support right there. What do you think, Adi?
Well, as you can see, we did mention that as long as price is above this channel that we have drawn, and this particular support zone is held, that means it does not break and close below this zone, because this line here, I want to just put it as a red line. Okay, so if it reaches there, then basically we want to actually consider taking a loss, right? But at this point, price have not actually reached even this particular support zone. And at this level here, we can see several candlesticks which are showing buyers coming in, right? So price actually went to as low as 176.53, but closed at about 180. And this is a daily chart. So the last 3 days, basically, price was at a high of about 184, went to as low as 178, but didn't manage to close below this particular line, right? So this is something that we need to watch, right? Because this area here, it will be an area, a zone, where there will be a lot of fighting between the bulls and the bears, because you can see that the bulls wants the price to go up and continue to be in an uptrend, while the bears, of course, is trying to push it below this particular line here that we have drawn. Because if it does break, then we have a break of the channel, which is a bearish signal actually, and will bring more bears into the territory. So this is an area that's going to be felt, strongly, and we need to see whether price, what happens around this zone, right, Afiq? So if it continues on the way to the upside, then basically the bulls have actually won the battle at this area, and we can actually expect price to actually move higher. But it's not conclusive yet, right? So I'm just going to draw the line here. So we need to see price close above this particular price which is at 185, right? 185. So let me just put the coordinates to 185, so it's easy for us to actually refer to as well. So at 185, this particular area, the resistance here needs to be broken. If it's broken, then there's a chance for it to actually move back to the upside. But so far with this candlesticks that has formed, the pintail candlestick shows that the bulls are fighting strongly in that area. Yep. Your comments, Afiq?
I think it looks good on my part. I think that yes, we are experiencing a little bit of a down, but let's look at it from a longer perspective. I think with TSCO, the way that they supply, the things that they supply, which is retail gardening tools, a lot of hobby items and all that. Considering that people are still stuck at home, I would say COVID is still here to stay, and this could be a better holding for a bit longer, in my opinion. So if I look at it this way, if it does break that resistance at 185, I think, like you said, it might shoot all the way up to 193, which was our entry point, right? And then it might even break that, and the psychological pull up to 200 sounds to be about right. Am I okay so far with this?
Yep. So you can see that we have higher swing lows, and this might now be actually a potential swing low as well, right? So actually, on hindsight, in the future, you might see that this could actually be the right point to buy this particular stock. But at this moment, like I said, it is still trying to form that swing low. So let's give it some time. And as also, you look at this area here, you see it has some similarities to where we are right now, this particular section here. Right, so hold on, let me just mark this up. Right, this particular section here, you can see some similarities to where we are right now. So we need to break this resistance, right? For this particular case, it broke this resistance and it pushed higher. So same here. We need to see it push beyond this line at 185.
Understood. That's awesome. I mean, if we were to look at our other magic indicators, we'll give you a better scenario, but I don't think we have the time to cover our other scenario, our other indicators. So I'm going to jump right into our next counter on our portfolio, which, okay, I think we had quite a strong call on this because it was all about silver. The Pan American Silver Corporation, PAS. We did say that silver was having a high demand and that it might be going up. And yet, unfortunately for us, it's down 3% since we entered. So what should we do with PAAS, Adi?
Okay, here we are on the weekly chart, right? As I've said, the ranging nature of this stock requires us to actually look at a higher time frame. And at this point, I would say that, as long as this particular line, let me just mark it in blue, as long as price is above this line and does not break below this U-shaped pattern curve that I've drawn, I think we are still good to go. There's still potential for this PAS to actually continue rising to the upside, right? So anyway, this is a company that actually whose share price follows closely what's happening in the commodities market, specifically the price of XAU USD, which is the silver spot price, right? So
XAU gold, XAG.
Sorry, XAG USD, XAG, right? So if you have been doing some research, you would have known that silver price is now in a potential bull run, right? And its current price right now, let me just check on the left side, is at $28.20, right? $28.20. And the all-time high for silver price is $50. So we are actually 50% off, about 50% off from its all-time high. So if you are saying that we are in a current potential bull run, and I've been reading reports from other renowned brokerages as well as analysts saying that, price of silver could actually go all the way to $50 and even higher. So if it's going to go higher, I don't think PAS is going to stay at the same price. It might actually also move up towards that $40 target zone and even potentially move higher than that area, right? So we can see that on this chart, the all-time high for PAS is at around the $44 level, right? So there's still a lot of potential upside for this particular stock. And the way I see it, what we are seeing right now, this volatility on the weekly chart is a consolidation, I would say. And after this consolidation, usually we would see price push up all the way to the next resistance, which we have actually indicated here around $40. And our TP1 at 38.50, and further up we will see $44. So we are looking forward to, of course, realize those profits if we ever reach those zones.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at the silver to USD chart, XAG USD. And if you look at the 2008 and 2011 spikes, it actually follows very closely with what's happening on XAG. So like the silver all-time high versus the on was this 11 Feb? No, May of 2011, 1st June 2011. I'm trying to figure that. 2nd May of 2011. You look at that, it hit $47. And if you look at our chart on PAS, it does mirror that spike. And now if I'm looking at XAG USD, XAG is going up, silver is on the way up, and so it should pull along all the other mining companies involved in silver. Right, Adi?
Yes, Afiq. And let me just add a little bit about silver. Silver is an industrial component. It's not just a metal, that's good for you to keep as a coin. In fact, it is a very, very in-demand commodity because even the current solar industry actually uses silver, and silver is used in many, many industries. And at this point, basically silver price cannot remain low because the mining companies would have to close down if price of silver remains low. So, and it doesn't make sense for price of silver to go down because due to industrial demand and the fact that a lot of our devices basically require silver in it to actually operate and function. So we foresee that, the price of silver, due to the industrial demand and a general commodities bull cycle, would actually push the price of silver to the upside. And of course, companies like PAS is one way for you to be investing in silver. I think, I saw in the past people actually buying coins and all that, but it's quite hard, in fact, to actually, it's quite hard to actually liquidate those coins. You need to find a buyer, and sometimes, you sell it back to the shops. They will take, quite a big discount from your entry, from the coins that you are actually selling. So the price of the coin could be $100, but when you sell back to the shops, they might be asking for $90 or $85. So they want to buy at a big discount, and therefore, we find that there are other ways actually for you to be investing in silver. And one way is through buying silver mining stocks or buying ETFs, basically silver ETFs.
I totally agree, and I totally understand what you're saying. The thing about this is, folks, if you are already holding the physical metal, fine, you're in it and you believe in it. But there are other ways to get exposure to the commodity rather than just buy the metal itself. You can look for ETFs. You can look for funds that track commodity indexes. In fact, I cover all this in my Responsible Investor program, and more on that later on. So we've got a course that teaches people how to use low-cost ETFs and unit trusts to start investing in a passive way. What we're covering today is the active side, how we can supercharge our returns on our core portfolio via the passive method. And on that note, I'm gonna, hold that note for silver in a bit, because I want to talk about semiconductors. I was reading this article about semiconductors early today. But let's go on to our next item on our model portfolio, and that's a happy one actually, which is Intuit, INTU. Intuit, we entered at 419 on the 17th of May. On the 17th of May, so only about 2 weeks ago. And Intuit, as you guys know, does cybersecurity, if I'm not mistaken. And if we look at it this way, it's up 6.2%.
So our entry is on the 17th of May, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let me just mark this with a tag saying entry. Seventeenth of May. Okay, so we just put entry here. So next time when we come to this chart, we will actually be able to see where we have entered and how price have actually performed in relation to our entry price, right? So a couple of days, basically about more than a week. If the end of this week will be about 2 weeks since we entered this particular stock. And as you can see, we did say that there are a couple of swing lows, which were higher swing lows, right? I think higher swing lows, which indicate that we have an uptrend.
Yep, the higher swing low where, higher lows, a bullish indicator, and looking at where we are at, I think Intuit can be doing quite well.
Yep, so we have seen the higher swing lows, and remember, I think when we were actually doing the show, I was saying to you, well, this particular stock is actually poised to actually move to the upside. And I said it is exactly at the resistance level here. And the conviction is from medium to high, also because of the higher swing lows that it's developed over the couple of weeks and months in this area here. And yeah, now we are seeing price actually moving up. And from our entry of $417, well, basically at around 420, 418, right? So let me just put the coordinates as 418, so it's easier for us to refer to it next time around. And you can see that price is still moving strongly to the upside when some of the other share prices were actually falling the last 3 days. You see Intuit actually moving up. So that's a good thing. And yep, as we have stated here, the next potential upside is around the $464. Of course, we will be meeting $450 first. That's a round number, which can provide some resistance. But all in all, I feel that this stock is doing quite good in our portfolio, right, Afiq?
Yep, we're up 6% on that. I'm very happy to hold on to Intuit, and we'll just continue watching as it goes along. Now, I want to cover something on our watch list. We want to look at our watch list, things that we were considering whether we wanted to purchase or not. So just now I mentioned semiconductors, right? I mentioned semiconductors, and with semiconductors, the article I read this morning was really just about how there is not enough semiconductors in the world, right? The manufacturers are unable to meet the demand, and demand is very, very high. So semiconductors are actually used in almost everything. They're such an important electronic component. It's tiny, but it's such a very important component. It's found in cars, mobile phones, computers, anything you can think of that's electronic. And so the one that we had a view on was NXP Semiconductors, NXPI. So let's have a look at NXPI. It's on our watch list. Let's make a decision whether we want to continue watching or are we going in.
NXPI. Check the Freeport. Okay, hold on. Mondelez. Okay, so let us look at NSPI, right? NSPI, the other time we did not actually put it in one of our stocks in our portfolio. It's just in the watch list, right? I think.
Yes, it's on the watch list. We've currently got 5 things on our watch list, and I want to share, I think, 2 more about our things that we have on our watch list later on.
How NX or NS, yeah?
NX.
NXPI.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, so semiconductors. Okay.
Correct.
Right. So this is the chart right now. So I'm gonna just take a look on the weekly time frame. Okay, let me just go to the daily time frame. All right. So this stock is still in an uptrend, right? And let me just draw the slanting line, and it is respecting this slanting line tremendously well. All right, which is a good thing. And right now, basically, price is still moving to the upside. But let me just draw this. And usually in a channel like this, I will actually draw another line in the middle. Okay, in the middle. Okay, we can just also follow the swing lows in this area here. And you can see that it's slightly in the middle, slightly off to the downside, but we can use it as well. You can see that it's being supported in this middle line. Okay, and let me just draw the horizontal lines. So the horizontal lines showing that the resistance level is around the 214. So I think we did not actually buy because I was expecting a reaction somewhere around this zone, right? I think, right, and it actually did happen, right? So you can see that actually price actually did reverse. There was an attempt to actually go towards the resistance zone, but it went to about $214 and it closed at around $207. So I'm actually expecting if it actually goes down further, then it will be a better buying opportunity for all of us, right? But at this point, I think let's actually retrace a little and let us just continue to observe. Anyway, we already have another Intuit as one of stocks that is in the semiconductor industry that's actually in our portfolio. So we might also want to consider whether we want to have more exposure to another semiconductor stock, or we would want to take a look at other stocks from other industries, which might also be in an uptrend. Yeah.
Right, you are right. We actually have a target price on NXPI at 204.
204. 204?
Yep, we set a target price for NXPI at 204.
To enter.
To enter.
Okay, hold on, yeah. Let me just write for you 204. And that's going to be the level where we might want to actually enter. And it's actually doing quite nice for us. It's actually nearly there. Right? And it's nearly there actually. So let's see whether it can actually come to that zone. If it falls lower, then you have actually a better buying opportunity for this stock. If it reaches here at around the 192 level, and that will be a better actually zone price point to actually be buying this particular stock. All right, 19381. But we might lose the opportunity if we wait longer. But it's okay, since I said to you, I think we already have one semiconductor stock in our portfolio, and it might just bounce off, from here. Those kind of situations happen, but as usual, we do not actually chase after prices. We will prefer to actually buy when the opportunity presents itself. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, yeah, NXPI, we can continue holding and watching and see what happens. If it does hit our target price, maybe if you got spare, we can put some money in. The next one I wanted to look at, which I think we mentioned, was Zoom. Considering that, pandemic's here to stay, more and more people are using Zoom. And in fact, even after the pandemic is over, I definitely forecast more and more companies using what do you call this? Not Zoom, but what do you call it? Remote working arrangements, and people are going to be using Zoom a lot more. And Zoom has come down quite a lot, actually. And so I see it, maybe could it be a buying opportunity for Zoom? What do you think, Adi?
Yep, let me take a look at the stocks and let's see whether, Zoom is actually giving us an opportunity to buy.
Zoom is ZM.
Yep. We have so many stocks, so we need to actually, I need to organize everything again. Because I'm also looking at so many other markets besides the stock market, and which is a good thing for you guys, you know, because when, especially for our friends who are actually in the VIP section, VIP membership, I will also state what's happening in all the other markets, as markets are basically correlated. Is that true, Afiq?
Yes, markets are most definitely correlated, folks. What happens one place in the world will affect everything else around the world. And we have to be very, very aware of macroeconomic view. What's happening in the US will definitely affect what's happening here in Singapore. The tensions between China and the US at one point did affect the stock market in a very bad way. And we recovered from that, right? And having that information at that point, some people have said, oh no, you know, the next big crash is coming. All of us have to liquidate and get out. But after that, the markets have actually increased by how much? 30% from the last, yeah, about there.
About there. Okay, Afiq, what are we looking out for?
Zoom.
Zoom video communications. All right, so here we go. Here we have Zoom communications, and we are looking at the weekly time frame. As you guys can see, price have actually risen from the lows of $58 all the way up. It has actually risen to, okay, let me draw the right line here so everyone can see. All right, it has actually gone to the highs of $589 and lows of $60. Wait, hold on. I think I want to go. Let's see whether there are any other stocks. Okay, so from the lows of $60, we actually see price going to nearly $600. That's about 10x, right? 1000%. And at this point, what we are seeing is that Zoom price is actually respecting this particular line here. It is respecting this line, and as it touches this line, it bounces up. You can see, right? It goes towards this line, it bounces up. So right now, if I just draw this line, what we have is actually a bullish pennant. This is a bullish setup, actually. You see a bullish chart pattern. And from what I teach my students in my course, whenever you see a bullish pennant like this, you will want to actually see basically price breaking above this slanting line resistance. And if it does, then we could see more upside for Zoom. And right now at $327 is actually nearly a 50% off from its highs, all-time highs. And yeah, basically we need to actually see whether this particular support level here at 272 would actually maintain, will actually be defended, right, by the bulls. But I would like to actually highlight this particular candle here. This is a pintail candle, and that's a bullish signal. And after this candle, you could see actually the next 2 weeks price continue to go up. And even though we see a small retracement to the downside here, you know, it's just a small little candle. It's not a huge candle like this, right? You see these big long candles here. This means that the bears are in control. When you see prices going into small candles, it's more of like, you know, it's trying to consolidate, it's trying to actually pick up more energy before the next big move. And yep, if I were to be buying this stock, I will be holding it for a couple of months and wait for it to actually just rise in price, right? And at this point, I think we will stick to our rules that we will buy only when price actually breaks above this particular slanting line. Okay, that's we just want to maintain discipline, and we want to actually be doing things the right way. We want to actually also instill the right habits in our audience, right, Afiq? And that's the thing that I would like to highlight. If you guys have actually not you know, been through any courses, any training on investing, on trading, I think you should consider taking up a course and be part of our community, right? Because at the end of the day, the community, your mentors will help you to actually do the right things, instill the right habits, and to actually maintain that habit without actually be affected by sudden price movements, sudden news coming out from the internet, and then suddenly you are selling your stock and only to see that it's actually going up. After that, you have actually just missed 100% run. Right, Afiq?
Yeah, on that note, right? I'm in one of the groups that he mentioned, and one of the things that this particular person had said was, she would have succumbed to her emotions if it was not for the community that she was in. She would have just said, I would have just gotten so fearful and then sold at a loss, and not just not look at my portfolio anymore. But instead, she had a support system, she had a community, she had mentors. I was in there in the group, and basically the whole message was this: hey, we are looking at a much longer time frame. The signals are all there, so let's not give in to fear and hold on. And true enough, because she had held on, she actually made a nice profit after that. Adi, I think I know I think you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to reveal who, but suffice to say, she was in our community, and the most valuable thing that she said was not the stock tips and all that, but really that community and that support system and having a dedicated mentor and coach to push us along. And so that's it for today. I am not going to share any more of our watch lists and our HI model portfolio. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes giving you, our participants, our viewers, our community, a special offer. So Adi and I have started something called the Halal Investing Network VIP Circle. Okay, so the VIP Circle, this is what we do in the VIP Circle. Adi, let me share my screen. I'm just gonna show. You can go to halalinvestingnetwork.com. Go to halalinvestingnetwork.com, key it in, you'll find our website, and I'm gonna show you what we're looking at. There you go. So the VIP Circle is normally priced at $69.90 a month. This is in USD. In the VIP Circle, you get weekly trading ideas and stock picks. You get tips on technical and fundamental analysis. You get market updates. You get commentary on market sentiment. And most importantly, you get access to experienced traders and coaches. As a bonus, we'll throw in our HIN video library. You can access videos on passive investing, active investing, and of course, investing psychology. Very, very important. So you get all this support and more at $69.90 a month USD. Now, that's not the early bird special. The early bird special is down here. You got to scroll down, folks. Okay, we normally charge $410 a half year, $800 per year. So normally it's $800 a year. That's the best value if you pay upfront per year. But limited to the first 10 people who sign up, we have 30% off. Okay, so folks, go to halalinvestingnetwork.com. If you're within the first 10 people who signs up for our yearly plan, that's 30% off. That's the best value. Instead of paying $800 a year, you only pay just over $500 for an entire year of support, hot stock tips, of, well, basically access to the community. So that's the Halal Investing Network VIP Circle, limited to the first 10 signups, $560, 30% off whole year's subscription. Adi, what do you have to say?
I guess it's a once in a lifetime deal, right? So we don't usually do offers like this because these kind of offers usually come once in a while. And of course, it's an offer that I think you should not actually put away or just gloss over, because me and Afiq basically have actually agreed to actually commit to this particular community, and we want to see you become a successful investor and a success, especially in the halal investing space, right? We are not actually just covering any stocks that's going up or any stocks that's actually trending or whatever. No, it's actually going to be focused on halal stocks. And at this point in time, I think that it's a good deal because you have Afiq, who's the chief finance ninja of Fastbee Finance, and also who's actually looking at the various stocks that's available out there and ensuring that first of all, there is a halal Sharia compliant stock. And then after that, he's also looking at using all his magical tools, to actually find and ensure that these are stocks that are trending to the upside. And it's not just a stock that's, not doing anything. On my end, I cover the technical analysis part, and like what Afiq has mentioned on our Halal Stock Hunters program, we usually just cover the basic stuff. But if you want greater details and things like the use of other tools that are more advanced, then I guess being in the VIP section of Halal Investing Network is the way for you. Okay.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Ultimately, folks, it's not just the one thing. Investing is a long journey. It's a very, very long journey. Adi has been investing since 1999. I only just started my journey way back in 2007, 2008. I was still quite young. And it's been a journey. And along the way, I've met multiple coaches, mentors. I've read hundreds of books. I've attended multiple courses, spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on all my courses. In fact, I've lost more money before those courses. And here's the thing, it's a journey. It's a journey, and the Halal Investing Network is just one part of that journey. Here's the best part about HIN VIP. It's a community. You get a group of people who you can leverage on, people you can speak to people who will support you and push you on, basically cheerleaders, and of course, experienced traders, coaches, mentors, all that to push you forward. And HIN VIP is just one part. Now, of course, exclusive to our members within VIP, you definitely get discounts and offers that nobody else does have. I personally, I run passive investing courses called The Responsible Investor, where it's all about halal stocks and building a portfolio of halal ETFs and unit trusts to build your long-term portfolio. Adi himself runs stock trading course. He runs a crypto course, and there's multiple offers that are only accessible if you're in Halal Investing Network's VIP circle. So jump to it. You saw our offer. It's $800 per year normally, and the first 10 people who sign up gets it at 30% off. So visit halalinvestingnetwork.com. We're going to leave you today with those thoughts. Drop us a comment below, subscribe, share, like, follow. And if you do need anything, just drop me a text on Messenger, find me on Facebook. Adi is also available on Facebook. On that note, those are my last words. Adi, anything from you?
Thank you, folks, for actually tuning in to Halal Stock Hunters. Yep, we actually are very glad to actually be sharing with you on how we invest in the stock market, and therefore hope to see you again next week.
All right, awesome stuff. I think we're still the only ones who do halal stock picks here in this region. And so, folks, do look out for more of our videos. This coming Sunday is the next episode of Halal Stock Hunters Stock Picks, where we choose 2 counters to talk about and give you our views and see whether we want to put it into our portfolio. With that, thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. We do this just for you, and of course, hopefully to the moon. I love that. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Adi. See you later. Bye, everybody.